Instead of trying to understand and control desires and emotions and that type of thing, I have a little bit deeper question on...
We're going to nitpick for just a second, really briefly. Let's find a different way of expressing what you mean by control. Because really, the law of attraction is controlling everything.
My question is a lack of control in a lot of ways.
Wait just a little bit, because we have a way to approach this, and then we want to hear you fully. Buckminster Fuller had a famous statement that he made, an analogy, where he talked about the rudder on a big ship, but there being little trim tabs on it, and that the trim tabs sort of got the rudder ready. It was like a less shocking thing. And there have been a lot of people offering a lot of analogies like that. With that in mind, did you sort of follow that? So with that in mind, think about wanting to control what?
Not control. My question...
Never mind our interruption of you, but what were you going to say? What was it
I was trying to preface and transition from the questions that have been asked, one that have to do with desire and emotions.
You use the word control, and it's okay if you don't...
In order to control desires. And otherwise I meant manage them, understand their origins and the normal places. But that has nothing to do with my question.
Well, the reason that we're eager about it is because there is this desire. It's rampant on your planet, and it's this desire to control something. Control the way I feel, control my life, control circumstances and events. It's what deliberate creation sounds like. Don't let us talk you out of listening.
I was just wondering what it was. Sorry.
So we're looking for a way, because we've come so far together today, we're looking for a way to help you all understand how much easier it would be to control anything if you had focused on the trim tabs of choosing things that feel good. If you just practice it a little over here and 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 a little over here on things that are easier and easier and easier and easier. Because control is almost always about taking something that's one way and moving it to be another. And what we want you to get the hang of, Esther's favorite phrase, or get in the habit of, is feeling so at one with your inner being and so at ease with your reason for being and so in love with the life that you're living that you're just sort of up for whatever comes and knowing that you're prepared for it. Not like you have to be prepared for bad things coming. Instead, you've prepared yourself for the way it is supposed to be with good things coming. So we just want to get that in. Your question apparently is irrelevant to that.
That does touch on my question. I'm a big fan of Buckminster Fuller and all the GDs.
Get this right over. Get your mouth right into that.
Yes, ma'am.
We look so much like
control does hit some aspect, because really what I understand, if we're coming from whatever the term is, energy, collective consciousness, source, we're these spiritual beings, that collective, whatever the right terminology is, and we have a desire to be in this physical form.
There are no words that is the correct terminology to explain the vibrational beingness that is you. That's what we're after about all day. There is no way to really explain the you-ness of you other than through the way it feels. And our friend said, it feels like love.
And that's getting to my point. The you-ness of me, who I am, who we all are, collectively as a whole or individually, are these, call it spiritual beings, other entities, energy. Why do we go through this level of suffering? Why are people put in these places?
Why do we go through
I'm
what?
not finished. I'm sorry.
We didn't quite catch your phrase, and we know it's important. Why do we go through this what?
These levels of suffering and unknown and uncertainty.
Levels of what?
Suffering.
Suffering.
And the communication that you're trying to give to us, why is it so remote, so difficult to have? Why are some people so disconnected? Why is a spiritual entity, would I want to be subjected to this?
Because you couldn't ask for the other end of the stick of suffering if you didn't know suffering. Keep listening. Because being able to isolate suffering also isolates well-being. To isolate confusion also isolates clarity. You couldn't know clarity without confusion. You couldn't know abundance without poverty. You couldn't know light without dark. Just don't take it into we couldn't know good without evil, because that's just the pinching off of it. And you're getting right at what we've so much been wanting to get at all day long here today, that if anything's in the room, somebody said it just now, it's a good thing. Our friend just here, it's in the room, and it's okay that it's in the room. It's better than okay. It's essential. It's essential to the creator that you are. It's like there being plenty of colors so that you can paint.
But
Beautiful
why
things.
would we, being cognizant spiritual beings, knowing that, go into here and then be blinded by that from the physical manifestation of ourselves? And then want a desire to have someone like you come and teach us.
When you made the decision to come into this physical body, so we're just going to tell you how it goes. I mean, really, in a way that we've never spoken so clearly before, because of the clarity of what you're asking. You're always evolving. We all are, because we're eternal and we just keep becoming more. And humans don't know it. We want so much for you to know it, but mostly don't know the important part of that expansion that you are. And the reason that your part is so important is because you said, I will go into a big environment of contrast, and I will learn to focus that contrast into my personal choices and preferences so that I can uniquely create more than has been before. And no one from non-physical said, well, you know, it's dangerous down there. You might get led off into stuff you don't want. Everyone says, yeah, go, mix it up and identify unwanted in the room. Because when you identify brilliant, leading edge creator that you are, extension of us, when you identify the unwanted black, whatever it is, we know for sure what you mean on the other end of that. And the universe has just become more, because you've been willing to expose yourself to something that just gave birth to something else. You knew that step one was where all of the newness would be decided. But it wasn't risky to you, because you knew that you would come and do that part and choose. And we knew that we would hold to what you've chosen, and in a really sort of corny way, keep the light shining on it so that you can see it in a bright way, so that you could feel your way to, in very simple terms. You go, you mix it up, and in your words, you suffer. But that's not what non-physical was saying, and it's not what you were pointing to. You weren't sent to suffer. You were sent to discover. You were sent to discern. You weren't sent anywhere. You came to explore and to find, knowing full well. It's what our friend, where are you, said so clearly just a minute ago. She said so clearly, it's all right that I have found this feeling that doesn't feel so good. It's not only all right, it's essential, because you knew that when you were able to focus that in the room, because of whatever combinations were happening, that the other end of that would be focused too. And you said, oh boy, that's worth it. I want that. That doesn't feel like suffering at all. That feels like giving birth to something. And your inner being says, and it'll be okay, because when you give birth to it, we'll give it our undivided attention. We all will. We will all give it our undivided attention. And it will reverberate in a very strong way. And the stronger what we're focused upon reverberates, the more you're going to realize your relationship to it, because you did step one and we're doing step two. If you don't do step three and start focusing on how you want to feel, and you keep focusing on how you do feel, you're going to feel worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And then what happens? Does it destroy you? No. It becomes so much that you say, forget about it. I give up. I don't want this pain and struggle anymore. Poof. That's what our earlier friend just now was explaining in better words than we just explained it. That's why. And you didn't feel like there was any downside to it or any risk, because there really isn't, because you knew that the discovery, just think about it. So what if humandom makes it easier to discover unwanted stuff, if it gives birth to wanted stuff in the same moment? So what? So if you can get over what people that don't know what they're talking about have taught you, that suffering is the way you're supposed to live, we're on to something so big. Hang on. Abraham, do you mean that we were so eager about having life experience and knowing the value of contrast that some of us get lost in it thinking that that's why we're here and that's a good thing to suffer. You kind of lost track of your inner being because there was enough of it around you, you kind of lost track of it. But here you are, playing with us. We're reminding you. Or there the dog is in the elevator licking your ankle or your toes. Esther loves to wear toeless shoes. She just hopes that there'll be a little dog in the elevator that'll lick her toes. Something so nice about that. She hasn't gone so far as to put anything they'd like to eat between her toes. But she's been thinking about it. She's been thinking about it. You're satisfied? We'll go further.
I'm satisfied. I'm good.
That was really a good conversation.
I did a hard one. No.